Imagine if I told you that researchers have discovered how to convert nuclear waste, some of the most hazardous stuff on the planet, into something as durable as glass, and that this innovation could finally fix a dilemma that has plagued the nuclear sector for over 50 years? Stick with me because this narrative is about to shift how you view nuclear energy forever. For more than 5 decades, the nuclear field has dealt with one constant struggle: how to handle radioactive debris that stays toxic for thousands of years. While nuclear plants create clean power, they also generate spent fuel and radioactive residues that must be securely managed for millennia. Currently, the globe has amassed over 250,000 metric tons of high-level nuclear refuse, with roughly 10,000 tons added annually. This waste is divided into 3 types: low-level items like tainted clothes and gear, intermediate-level debris including reactor parts, and high-level waste such as spent fuel rods that hold 95% of all nuclear waste's radioactivity. The difficulty isn't merely the risk, it's the duration. Certain radioactive isotopes stay dangerous for tens of thousands of years, much longer than any human society has endured. Present storage techniques depend on temporary fixes: cooling ponds at reactor locations, dry casks built of steel and concrete, and the vague hope of deep geological vaults. Most nations keep their nuclear leftovers in these provisional sites, effectively pushing the issue into the future. The planned Yucca Mountain project in Nevada was scrapped after decades of resistance. Only Finland has made real strides with its Onkalo site, which will start taking waste in the near future. But this is where it gets fascinating, and I want to hear your opinion on this in the comments. What if the answer isn't about where we bury the waste, but how we alter it? While the world argues over where to entomb nuclear debris, an established method has been quietly revolutionizing how we treat it: vitrification. This technique literally converts radioactive refuse into glass, locking dangerous isotopes inside a solid, stable structure that can endure for geological eras. The idea isn't novel. France has been effectively vitrifying high-level liquid waste since the 1980s at its Le Hague Center, creating over 17,000 glass cylinders. The United Kingdom runs similar sites at Sellafield. What is shifting is the magnitude and worldwide acceptance of this method. The operation starts with liquid radioactive residue, usually from reprocessing spent nuclear fuel. This sludge holds a mix of hazardous isotopes, including cesium-137, strontium-90, and hints of plutonium and uranium. The liquid refuse is blended with glass-forming substances, mainly borosilicate compounds, the same tough glass family used in lab gear and premium cookware. This blend is fired to temperatures surpassing 1100 degrees Celsius in specially built kilns. At these intense heats, the waste and glass ingredients melt into a uniform fluid where radioactive atoms become chemically fused within the glass framework. As this molten blend cools, it hardens into dense, solid blocks where the radioactive components are trapped at the molecular level. The outcome is impressive. Radioactive isotopes that were once fluid and mobile become permanently locked away. The glass structure stops them from seeping into groundwater or leaking into the environment, even over thousands of years. If you're finding this as intriguing as I am, be sure to smash that like button. It really helps the channel's growth and gets this vital science info to more folks.
Borosilicate glass provides distinct benefits for nuclear waste containment. Unlike metal canisters that rust or concrete that can fracture, properly designed glass stays chemically steady for millennia. It withstands thermal shifts, water infiltration, and even the slow degradation from radiation exposure. The vitrified refuse doesn't depend on outer shields for containment. The waste itself acts as the barrier. This removes many points of failure that haunt standard storage ways. If a storage site is hit by earthquakes or human mistakes, the glass blocks stay unbroken and continue shielding the environment. Vitrification also significantly decreases volume. The dense glass blocks occupy much less room than comparable amounts of waste in standard casks, making storage more streamlined and budget-friendly. While France and the UK spearheaded commercial vitrification, other nations are swiftly growing their capacity. China has poured resources into vitrification tech through its state nuclear agency and research hubs, constructing several plants to manage its rising nuclear waste stockpile. China's strategy focuses on automation and magnitude. Their modern vitrification centers use robotic units to move materials remotely, reducing human contact while processing tons of debris yearly. Initial data implies their vitrified waste blocks satisfy global durability norms and could stay stable for 10,000 to 100,000 years. Japan has also pledged to use vitrification for its nuclear leftovers, though advancement has been slower due to engineering hurdles. India, South Korea, and other nuclear states are assessing the method as their waste inventories expand. Vitrification signifies more than just superior waste handling. It could alter public sentiment regarding nuclear energy. For decades, the unresolved waste dilemma has driven resistance to nuclear power. When societies understand that radioactive residues can be safely converted into stable glass rather than kept indefinitely in temporary sites, nuclear energy becomes more publicly palatable. This counts immensely for climate targets. Nuclear energy creates virtually no carbon emissions during use, making it a vital partner to renewable energy sources. As nations aim to green their power grids, fixing the waste issue eliminates a huge hurdle to nuclear growth. And speaking of energy answers, if you're curious about how various technologies are molding our energy future, ensure you're subscribed with alerts on. We explore these subjects.
Vitrification isn't a flawless fix. The procedure is energy-heavy and demands complex facilities that cost billions to construct and run. It is mainly tailored for liquid waste from reprocessing, not direct burial of spent fuel rods. The glass blocks, while solid, still hold radioactive elements that need long-term containment. They require guarded sites with tracking systems, though these needs are far less rigorous than for liquid sludge or spent fuel ponds. There are also global political factors. Reprocessing spent fuel to generate the liquid waste needed for vitrification can yield plutonium, sparking nuclear weaponization worries. This restricts which nations can or should adopt the tech. Despite these obstacles, vitrification provides the most developed method for long-term nuclear waste handling currently accessible. As more nations master the routine and expenses drop through experience, it could become the worldwide norm for high-level waste disposal. The tech changes nuclear waste from an emergency needing perfect answers lasting forever into a manageable task requiring solid engineering for millennia. In a world where perfect is often the enemy of good, that shift might be exactly what the nuclear sector needs to ensure its future as a clean energy resource. For the first time in nuclear history, we're not just holding our most hazardous byproducts, we're changing them into a shape that time itself can barely degrade. That's not just advancement, it's the bedrock for a viable nuclear future. So here's my query for you. Do you believe vitrification could be the answer to making nuclear energy more accepted by the public? Or are there other worries about nuclear power that this tech doesn't resolve? I'd love to read your views in the comments below. If this video helped you grasp nuclear waste management better, give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing for more science and tech material. And if you want to learn more about energy solutions, check out our video on fusion power breakthroughs. I'll link it in the description. Thanks for viewing, and I'll catch you in the next video.